We're back with another payment gateway integration video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to implement checkout.com hosted page integration method. Here's how it works. Here we have a demo merchant website. This is the items in the cart. I hit checkout. It's going to request a page from checkout.com, which we're going to redirect to. Now, I am looking at a checkout.com URL. I'm in their domain right now. So this payment is taking place on their website. And I enter my card information, or I can pay with Apple Pay or Google Pay. I'll show you the card payment so that you can see what happens when you need 3DS. Hit pay. And if there's 3DS required, it's going to happen within that page as well. You just enter the hint over here because this is a simulated authentication. Hit continue, payment authenticated, and you get redirected to the result page, and you show the customer, the result of the payment. Pretty straightforward. So what's happening here? Your store front end will call your server. The server is going to call the first API. It's called create hosted checkout API. This is this API / hosted payment, and that API is going to return a link, which looks like this. This is the link, and then you're going to use that link to redirect the cardholder to the hosted page where they complete the payment and 3DS authentication. After they're done, they're going to get sent back to a result page that you will specify, and then when you land on that result page, then you're going to use an API call to get the payment status. And that API will look like this, / hosted payments, and then / the payment ID, which you get from here. So you put this here at the end of this URL, and you do get instead of post, and you send it, and then you're gonna get the payment result, which looks like this. You wanna look at status, payment received. That means that you can process the service. And you can attach your own identifier to the payment, so you can map against your database. Anyways, you get the payment result in your server, and then you show that to the customer in the result page and display the receipt or whatever. So that's how it works. Now let's go ahead and implement that, starting with a new project over here. Here we have a dummy website that doesn't do anything, and this is where I'm going to implement my server endpoint. I'm using Firebase Cloud to host my endpoint. So the first step we want to do is going to take place actually on your backend. So on your backend, you need to implement this endpoint create page, which is basically just this API call. Let me zoom in so you can see. So here, first thing is that you want to generate a random order ID for this transaction. And I'm going to just use a simple method like this that generates a random alphanumerical string given an integer as a length. And then on your server, you want to set the amount in the currency. You don't want to set down at the front end and then pass it to the server. You want to set that on your server. I'm going to just hard code that for now, like this. Now, checkout.com requires you to pass the amount in cents. So instead of doing it like this, you need to do it like this. But you can solve for that with a simple math like this. Just do math.round, and then you put the amount, then you multiply that by 100, and that's going to convert it to cents. Okay, now you want to call the API that I showed you earlier. And to do that, you're going to use this endpoint, amount, which you get here, currency, order ID, and then you need to specify the country. So SA for Saudi Arabia here, for example. Processing channel ID, you need to get that from your checkout.com portal. Let me show you how. Here on your portal, you want to go to keys, and then you want to select the key that you're using for your integration. And then in that page, you want to look here under selected processing channels, and this is the processing channel. This is what's going to go here and here. Then if you need to set the capture to true to debit the customer immediately. If you set it to false or you leave it empty, then it's just going to authorize the payment, and then you're going to need a second step to capture the payment. So make sure capture is true. Then you got to give it a URL for when the payment is successful or failed. It's up to you to set that. I set them to the same page and handle the failure or success within that page. And a cancel URL where you want to send the user when they hit cancel on the payment instead of paying. And then for your headers, you need the content type, and you need your authorization header. Authorization header will be just bearer, space, and then your secret key, which you also get from here, from developers keys. You can generate a new one, get that value of that. Okay, that's all you need to send the request. And next thing you want to do is that you want to create an entry in your database to track the status of that order. So here I create an entry using the order ID, and I store the status pending by default, the page ID, which I get from the API here, the link to the page, just in case I need to retrieve it, and the payment ID as null. This we're gonna get after the payment is successful. Then I return the link to the front end, and that's all I need for now. Now we switch to the front end and use that. Here in your front end, you just need to find get payment page, and this is going to be this method over here. So in this method, I'm going to need to call the API that I just created to get that link. And remember, you shouldn't be passing any amount or currency to the server. All that stuff should be set on the server side because a smart hacker can just manipulate how much they pay for your order. Okay, here we set the loading to true, so we can do that loading indicator. And then we call the API, which will return the link as the response data. And then we use window.location.assign to redirect to that link. And we don't need this line over here anymore. So let's go ahead and test that. Oh, notice one thing is that when I redirect to my result page, I attach the order ID to the result URL. Why? Because I'm going to use that later to query my database and query checkout.com for the status of the order. Okay, let's go ahead and test this. Checkout, and then we get redirected successfully. This time I'm going to use Google Pay. Okay, now here it confirms that the order has been placed, but we haven't checked that actually. We need to query the server to see if this order ID is successful. Now, let's take a look at our database. This is the order. Here, the status is still pending. When I land to this result page, I need to call an API to update that status and actually get the actual status. I shouldn't just assume that it's successful just because I got redirected. So what we need is to take this page ID, slap it on this API, and get the result, and check if it's payment received. So let's implement our second API here that will do that. So we're gonna pass the order ID to this API by putting it at the end of the API URL, and we get that order ID from the URL like this. I can slap the order ID at the end of the API URL like this. Then after I get that order ID, I'm gonna use it to query my database like this. And for my database, I'm gonna get the page ID, which is this value. And now using that order ID, I'm gonna call checkout.com's API. It's a GET request with no payload. The page ID goes at the end here, and then it's gonna return this response, and I'm gonna check the status. If the status is successful, payment received, then I'm gonna update my database to say it's successful, and then add the payment ID here for audit purposes, and then return to my client side that it's successful. Otherwise, I'll say it's failed and return failed to the client side. Okay, let's go ahead and test this. Back to the client side, let's go to the result page here. This is how we get the order ID from the page URL once we get redirected. It's gonna be here, and then I need to call the API to get the result as soon as the page mount, and I'll do that using useEffect. UseEffect over here is gonna call getResult. GetResult is gonna call my API, adding the order ID to the end of it, and then get the result from my server and set it as a state variable called result, which I'm gonna set here. Now I'm gonna use that state variable to display the result in the order. So here, instead of saying your order number blah 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 has been placed, I'm just gonna say your order number ABC is result, and the result could be failed or success depending on what my server over here returns. So it's just gonna handle itself nicely. Okay, I forgot to define use state and useEffect, so let's add those. Okay, refresh the page. Now let's see if it's working. It's working. And if we check our database, we see here that the order status is successful. Now let's create an order, a new transaction from the beginning to show you the flow end to end. Hit checkout, we get redirected to the card information, hit pay, complete 3D secure. By the way, before I finish the payment, check this out. This is the order that I just created in my database. Now it says pending. Now when I hit continue and I land on my result page, it's gonna update that. There you go. My database updated and the result is displayed. And that's it. This is how to implement checkout.com payment gateway, hosted page integration method. Hope the video was useful. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more content like this. If you want to get the full source code that we used in this video to make your coding easier and also support the channel, check the Patreon link in the description box below. And that's it. See you next time.